Right. Well, it looks like we already have people logging on, so we're going to get started since we have a lot to cover today. Good morning, everyone. Thank you guys so much for joining us. My name is Cece Mortar, and I am the Director of Business Development at the Steamboat Springs Chamber. We are proud to be here and partner with the Savings Collaborative, and our business education series sponsors Mountain Valley Bank, Northwest Data Services, UC Health, Colorado Housing and Finance Authority, and Routt County to bring you today's session. A little bit about the program. The Savings Collaborative is a free community program designed to help our local workforce build financial stability. Participants can work one-on-one with financial coaches. They can access debt management tools. They can qualify for free or very low interest emergency loans. And plus, you can earn $50 just for setting up automatic savings transfers and another $100 when you reach $450 in their savings platform. This is all through FDIC insured accounts with Alpine Bank and First Bank. There's no strings attached, no sales. It's just a really great program. Some housekeeping notes, please switch your chat to everyone so that everyone can see your chat. And we're going to put questions in the Q&A box at the bottom of your screen. We'll have 10 minutes for questions at the end, but please feel free to put in your questions as you have them so we can make sure they're covered in a timely manner if needed. And then this session is being recorded, so we'll share the recording and the slides with you later this afternoon. Thank you all again for joining us. And with that, I'll hand things over to Ileana Renteria for the Savings Collaborative to get us started.
Thank you so much, Cece, and welcome everyone. And thank you for joining us today. You are taking a big step towards your financial freedom and your financial stability just by being here today, and we really appreciate it. I am joined also by Dr. Barbara Freeman, our CEO at the Savings Collaborative. Hi, Barbara.
Hi, Ileana. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you. I am the head of partnerships and community relationships at the Savings Collaborative, and this workshop today is called Reclaim Your Peace, Credit and Debt Essentials. So that's what we're going to be talking about, and this isn't just about numbers. It's about financial freedom and your peace of mind. So before we start, please scan this QR code with your phones so we'll all be able to see our answers on a Mentimeter poll. It's going to be anonymous. We're not going to be able to see who said what, but this is going to help us throughout the conversation. So please join using that code. And I'm going to be showing it as we go with the questions. So first, I want to talk a little bit about the Savings Collaborative. Again, as Ceci already mentioned, we are a nonprofit based in Colorado, and we help our clients reach financial resilience and generational wealth. And today I want to share a testimonial from one of our clients, Christina, who was very worried because her mom got sick, so it was an emergency, and she ended up with a loan that was charging her an interest rate of 600%. And that was really drowning her. She was very worried that she could never end up paying that loan. And it was less than $700, but for her, just to be putting money towards the interest rate and never lowering the principal was really stressful. So once she joined us, we were able to lower her interest rate and renegotiate that interest rate to a 6%. And now she is finally free. She finally was able to pay that loan. And that's what we do. We want to give you tools and to really help you get to where you feel that freedom.
Ileana, I just want to add on, and she's saving money regularly, which is very awesome. A few people didn't have a moment yet to, we went fast from the QR code. So could you do two things? One, go back to that page just for a second so people could see it. But are you able to drop the QR code itself in the chat for those that can't take a
No, I can't. And it doesn't have to be a screenshot. Again, as I mentioned, once I show the question, the QR code is going to be there. So don't worry so much about it. It's just an intro that we're going to be using it.
Got it. So the QR code will be on each question as it comes. Okay. Yes. Thank you for reiterating that. Please continue.
Absolutely. Yep. Thank you so much. Again, so we're going to start in such a timely question, Barbara, because we're going to start. let's think about this question. When it comes to money, I feel most confident about, and I'm going to start sharing my Mentimeter. So let's go to this question, and I'm seeing some answers now going in. Let's see what everyone says. It looks like our audience is most confident about paying their bills on time, which is amazing. That's a really big one, and we're gonna talk about it in a bit. Perfect. So we're seeing that most of us are most confident about paying our bills on time. Less about budgeting and saving, but still.
Ileana, I'm still
Yeah.
seeing the screen that shows the Mentimeter code. Are you showing
you?
the results? Yeah,
I am. Can you see
there
them?
we go. We
Yeah,
can see the
perfect.
results now.
Awesome. Yeah, so we have 8 people saying that they are most confident about paying their bills on time, one with budgeting, one with saving, and none are still figuring it out. So that's amazing. So that just gives us a sense of where we're at. And again, this is all anonymous. I don't think anyone else is answering now, so we're going to move forward. But again, this is just a thermometer of how we are feeling right at this moment. So let's dig into what credit really is and why it matters. One thing that is very important to understand is that credit is our financial reputation. It shows our lenders, landlords, and employers that we are reliable with our money, that we can pay them on time, that we have the means to pay them on time. So it's not about debt. It's about being able to cover our expenses and what we are borrowing from them. So please keep this in mind. Credit is our financial reputation. That's a big one. Are you able to see my screen? Perfect. And why is it important? Because good credit opens new doors for us. And that means lower interest rates. And in the end, it's going to save us a lot of money. So that's why it's important to keep an eye on our credit. And please, I'm seeing something in the chat, but I think there's a question or something. So why it matters? Can you think about why having a good credit is important? Right now, and I mean, always, you know, that credit is everything. That's a saying, and it's a reality. When you have good credit, you have better interest rates, you can finance, and you have more power of negotiation when you have good credit. You can get a better mortgage loan. You can access specific services and products in the banks and different institutions. And now even your employer might be checking your credit scores, even your landlords. So in the end, it's going to save you thousands and thousands of dollars throughout your life to have a good credit score. But please remember that credit is about trust and not debt. So let's go into another poll to keep us in this mindset of trust. And let me know, if you were to lend someone $5,000, what will be one word that will describe that person that you will give them $5,000? Please let me know. You can use the QR code again over here with your camera if you didn't keep it open. And let's start sharing our answers. Someone that's responsible, that's a big one, yeah. Reliable, yes. Trustworthy, amazing. Has a job, that's an important one. That's confident. That plans ahead, yeah, planning. So yeah, these are all big words that are all related, you know? So that's exactly what our lenders are going to look for in us. Imagine you're a big institution and you're about to borrow millions of dollars. You have to know that these people are going to be able to repay. So please keep in mind the 5 C's that the lenders look for when they are borrowing their money. They will take into account your character. That means, will you pay back? That goes along with a lot of the words that we just put into the Mentimeter. The capacity, you have to pay them back. Like, do you have a job? Do you have a stable income? The capital, what do you own? Do you have any assets? Do you have savings in case that something happens but you can still pay me back? Do you have a collateral? Do you have a car? Do you have a home? And what are the market conditions currently? So this is all about trust. And if you're going to borrow money or ask for a loan or a new credit or whatever, please keep these 5 C's in mind before you ask for that loan. So you will have better chances of getting it and also getting lower interest rates. There's a term that is not very common, but it's about being credit invisible. And it's not very well known, but it happens a lot. And what it means is that you have no credit history. When we go into your credit report, we can see you, we can find you, we can see anything on your credit report. And this might be for a different reasons. One of them being that maybe it's a young adult that's just starting to build credit. Maybe someone who recently immigrated to the country and they are learning new ways and just asking for their new credit card and they don't have anything to report on. Or maybe there are people who don't trust credit, who said, no, I'm only going to pay on cash only. And maybe there are people who haven't used their credit in a long, long time, and eventually it became credit invisible. And with this, it might be that you may think, well, this is positive because I don't have a negative credit score. But it's not that positive, because in the end, it means that you have to start again to build your credit. So let's talk about FICO and the 3 bureaus. FICO is the most common score range that it's going to be taking into account your points and putting them together and give you a grade on how good your credit is. And it gets the information for the 3 main credit bureaus, Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion. And it doesn't always get the same reports from all 3 bureaus. So that's why it's important for you to go into your credit report and see what's going on there, because your score might vary from 20 to 50 points between the bureaus. So the bottom line with this is that you are in control. The things that the bureaus are reporting are based on what you are doing with your credit. So let's talk about how is it calculated. The 3 main things that you need to take into account is your payment history. Again, going back to that trust, what lenders really take into consideration is that you are paying on time your bills. The next thing is how much you owe. And for this, we usually recommend that you don't use your cards or your credit above 30%. And the other thing is your credit history. So for how long have you had credit? So that's why it's important that you don't close older credit cards. So it's not rocket science. It's all based on your own behavior and your own decisions, and you can be in control of your credit. So the scores vary from 850 to 300, and 800 to 850 is excellent, but please be reassured that very little people have this credit score. And but still, having a credit score below 800 and up to 740, it's very good. You're still going to get great credit, great rates, and you're going to be easily approved for things. That's something that you also need to keep in mind. And with your youngsters as well, because they are going to be getting credit and approved for things, but you have to have these conversations with them. For a credit of 739 to 670, that's good still. You'll get a little bit higher rates, but still good options. And from 580 to 669, that's going to be fair. Below 580, that's considered a poor credit score. And the good news is that you still have ways to build it back up, and that it's not going to take you years and years and years. If you really put your mind into action, you can get it up in a few months. So that's important. Barbara, do you want to share something? Now we can hear you, Barbara. Sorry.
So I believe that what you had said earlier about being in control of your credit, what you seem to be saying is that you could take action to actually change this, right?
Yes.
So is
exactly.
it about working on these 5 points that, in terms of that pie that you showed us on the last
Yes.
page? Is it right?
Exactly. So yeah, let's focus on those 3 big credit rules. Pay on time, keep your cards under 30% of use, keep your older cards open, because that's gonna give you more credibility. And with that, you'll almost have like 80% of your credit under your own control.
So, Ileana, if a person was to work with your team of financial coaches, right?
Yes.
Is that the kind of thing that they can help me or a person
Yes.
make a plan
Absolutely.
for? Or okay,
Yes.
thank you.
So thank you for bringing that up. And I'm going to be talking a little bit more about it, but we do offer that financial coaching service for free. And our counselors are trained and professionals and certified that will walk with you step by step to help you with any issues that you may have with your credit, with your savings, with your debt, and we'll be there for you. So something that I want you to keep in mind and remember, this isn't about shame. This is about freedom. This is about empowering you. So this credit is a journey. Building your credit is a journey, and everyone has different journeys in life, different situations. Life happens, and we are all aware of that. So you may not know you have no idea what the credit score of your neighbor is, of your best friend, even, because we are not used to talking about money. These are things that are so ingrained within our mindsets that you don't talk about your money. Sometimes you even don't think about your money because you don't want to really be aware of what's going on there. So different people, different mindsets, different cultures, and you don't know what everyone else's credit score is. So please don't feel ashamed, don't feel guilt about your financial situation. And that's something else that our coaches are very, very well trained in. They will never judge anything because we've seen it all first. And then because this is just human life, it happens. So the biggest credit myth is that you need debt to build credit. And this is something that we see every day. Just recently, we did this training in person in Eagle County, and someone came and said that she wanted to build credit because she's invisible, actually. She's been building credit with her husband, but every payment that she did went into helping her husband's credit go up and not hers. So now she's credit invisible and she wants to build credit. And she was thinking, well, I should purchase a car because that will help me get my credit up. And by the end of this workshop, she really understood that it's not about how big the debt is that will help you build credit. So what you really need to be doing is paying your bills on time. And there are bills that can help you build your credit. So some ways that can help you build your credit without acquiring new debt is become an authorized user on someone else's credit card. get a secured credit card. This is something that a lot of our immigrant communities do. This is a way where they can start building credit. Get a credit builder loan. Just be aware that these have higher interest rates. Get a cosigner loan. And there are also self-reported accounts. And that's why I put this Experian Boost system that you can find on their website. And it says here on the bottom, start your Boost. Experian can help you track your expenses on streaming services, your bills, and it will track them and it will start reporting them to help your credit score go up. So if you are paying on time, you have ways to build your credit score without acquiring debt. Something that's important is that we check our credit scores because you can fix what you can see. So you can go into this website, annualcreditreport.com, and you will find what the 3 bureaus are reporting for you. In there, you'll find your payment history. You'll find the credit accounts that are open in your name, credit inquiries, who checked your credit, trying to buy what, and any public records. And I'm going to show you what it looks like. This is what your annual credit report looks like. And I know that it can be daunting. It can be something that you might not understand. But what you really need to look for here, go dig for identity theft, outdated information that you need to update. And if you had any debt that's older than 7 years, you need to check that it's been dropped off. Any information that's older than 7 years shouldn't be in there. And make any disputes of anything that's not working on your credit report. So I know that this looks like a lot, but that's why we are here. Our financial coaches can help you understand what's on your credit report, on your annual credit report, and we'll help you understand what everything means, spot any errors that are hurting your score, to help you create a plan, as we were talking about it, like step-by-step plan, because sometimes the mountain looks so big and we think that we need to reach the top right away. But no, once someone tells us, hey, look at the problem little by little, you can get there and know exactly what steps to take. That's going to make it so much easier. And we don't have like it's only 3 sessions. No, we can work with you for years, even if needed. So please know that our counseling services are available to you. It's completely free. It's confidential. It's a nonprofit. All the benefits are to you. And I don't know what else to tell you, but there aren't any negatives to getting financial coaching.
Yeah, Eliana, you made an important point within what you were saying. And I think that's, again, the fact that, back to your point about being able to take control. And what you were talking about is you can fix these errors and you can advocate for yourself. And
Yes.
It's really interesting for me, having learned that at a much older age, that you're able to talk about mistakes on your credit report, mistakes on your credit card, too high of a bill on your credit card, too high of an interest rate.
Yes.
You can have a voice in this. And I never knew that was even a possibility, right?
Yeah.
And there's a high, percentage of change that you could make, if you do speak up. And I think that's just an important thing to underline. Just one other thing that you might want to pick up on that point, but one other thing is annual report, do they need to update their name? The annual credit report people, because you can pull it more than once a year, no?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Now you can check it out every week and it's completely free and it won't affect your credit. I don't really think that anyone needs to be checking their credit scores every week. but once a month, do it. So it's free, it won't affect your score, and it will help you keep on track. And another thing that Barbara mentioned that I think it's very important, and we really need to make that connection, is that you don't know what you don't know. And that's why having someone that's an expert that can show you different options and different things that you weren't aware of can help you so much. And if you're getting that information for free, that's even better. So moving on, please remember that this is all about awareness. You don't need to go blindsided, like sleepwalking through your credit. Build that, but with open eyes. And if you have an extra pair of eyes, the better. So let's take a 5-second, 10-second mini break just to relax our shoulders and recharge, because we're going to go into the next subject. And please, I don't know if anyone else is checking the chat, but we'll have 10 minutes at the end of the presentation to answer your questions. So I hope you are liking the conversation. Again, this is a conversation, and this is just about empower you.
Ileana,
Yes.
I am checking the chat, and at the moment there are no new questions.
Perfect.
So,
Thank you so
okay.
much, Barbara.
Yep.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thanks. Okay, so now we've learned about credit, how to build it, what to look for, how we can be in control of our credit score. But now let's tackle what we owe. Let's talk about that. But please keep these things in mind. Good credit helps you manage your debt better through lower interest rates, better negotiation power, and it gives you more options for consolidation. So now let's turn that debt from a burden, from a point of shame and something we don't even want to think about. Let's turn it, switch it into a plan. So what is debt? I know that we all have an idea of what debt is. We all know. But we keep it until here. Money you borrow with a promise to pay it back. Yeah, that is debt. But what we don't think about is that it usually comes with interest. So we're gonna end up paying more. We are borrowing money that we are paying with our money, but higher. So there are two types of debt. One that is secure and it's backed by a collateral, like your mortgage, your auto, like for mortgages or auto loans. And the thing, the car, the home are the collaterals in these loans. And there are also unsecured loans, like your credit cards, your medical bills. And with this, it's unsecured because you're paying higher interest. So let's play a quick game, and I'm going to show you a few scenarios. Please go into Mentimeter again, and we're going to say if we think this is good debt or bad debt, okay? So so let's start with student loans. A student loan for nursing school. Is it good debt or is it bad debt? What do you think? So we have good debt over there. Bad debt, 3, 4 good debts, 1 bad debt. Keep them coming, good debt, okay. Okay, let's go into the next question. Okay, I'll go here. Okay, now, payday loan. You asked for a payday loan to cover for your rent. Is it good debt or is it bad debt? We have 100% saying that it is bad debt. Perfect. Bad debt. Thank you so much. And that one's pretty obvious, right? It is bad debt. And if you are in a situation where you need to borrow money for your rent, that means that, the situation isn't looking great. Now, you are borrowing money for a car loan because you need it for work transportation. Will it be good or bad debt? We have good, 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 good debt. Okay. And now let's go into the next one. Good debt or bad debt? You ask for a loan to start or expand a business that generates income. Will it be good or bad debt? What do you think? We have good debt, 3 good debts, 5, and 1 bad debt. Okay, so let's go back into our presentation. And I think that with this game, it makes us think like, oh, that can be good sometimes. And it's true, that can be helpful. But the reality is that context matters. So if you're going to pay for your education, but it's going to be super expensive and it's going to be maybe something that you are not even going to end up working in that field, even for an education, it might be considered bad debt, and you might want to consider something that is not as expensive, like Colorado Mountain College. I don't know, different options. Like, always consider your options. Always make your own, be your own self, your best advocate for yourself, and do your research before you get into that. Because the reality is that it is always best to carry as little debt as possible. So having good credit and little debt, that's the sweet spot that you want to reach. Remember, it's not about how much you owe that will help you build good credit. So here are the truth about interests. Because remember, when a debt is unsecured, what you're giving back is a lot of in interests. So payday loans, it was bad debt because it can have between 300 and 600% annual interest rate. So that's a lot of interest. Credit cards, usually between 18 and 30% interest. Auto loans between 5 and 9. Student loans between 5 and 7. So the reality is that when you are borrowing money, you are paying a lot more back. So carrying that makes you more it makes the item that you're purchasing way more expensive in the end. So that's something that we always need to keep in mind. So how interest works is your daily balance. You multiply it by your interest rate divided in the 365 days, and that's your interest rate. So for example, if you are borrowing $1,000 with an interest of 20%, you're paying 55 cents a day, $16 and 50 cents a month. And most of this will be like the minimum, and most of this money, if you pay only this amount, will go towards the interest. So it won't even go into the principal, the amount that you borrowed, the $1,000 that you borrowed. So that means that even $1,000 can take you years to repay them if you are only given the minimum. So moving on to the reality of debt is that there is an emotional side of it. There is an emotional component that we can't overlook because it will affect our sleep, our relationships, our self-esteem, the way that we think about ourselves. But when you realize that millions and millions and millions of people in the country are dealing with this every day, you realize that you are not alone. The system is built for you to, if you don't understand what you are working with, it is easy to fall through the cracks. It is easy to make mistakes. And also emergencies happen. Life happens, emergencies. It can happen to the best of us. So that's why we are focusing on solutions, not shame. And we just want you to know that you are not alone. We are here to help you. So how do we tackle that? We can follow these 4 simple steps. The first thing is that you need to know what you owe. So take a deep breath, take your notebook or your spreadsheet or whatever and start listing everything you owe, every amount, every rate, every due date, and talking about when things are complicated, finding your rate is complicated. even for our coaches, going through the statements and trying to figure out how much interest rate each of our clients is paying is, is complicated. So when you do it with help, it's way easier. Then calculate your debt to income ratio. So you can use this bank rate free calculator. Always try to use reliable resources. And we're gonna send this over to you at the end of the presentation later today. You'll have some resources. But yeah, when you use this, it can show you how much you really owe. So if you are under 20%, that means that you're in a strong position to repay your debts. If you are between 20 to 36, it's still manageable. You might be struggling a little bit, but if it's over 36%, then it's a priority for you to start making a plan and start putting money into your, start putting action into your debt. So pick a method. There are different methods out there to repay your loans. The most common are the snowball, which is when you choose to start with the smallest debt that you have, the card that has smallest amount that you owe, and start paying that over. And once you finish paying that one over, that money you put it aside to put it into the next smallest debt that you have, and that's how you end up paying everything eventually. And the avalanche method, that's a different one. You pick the one with the highest interest rate and you start paying that one up, because maybe you owe, I don't know, $200 in one card that has 0% interest rate, and you have another one where you owe $1,000 at a 30% interest rate. Well, you might want to tackle the other one first, the one with the highest interest rate. So each situation is different, and we just really need to think what's best for ourselves. And you can start this week. Start now. Set up autopay so you won't forget to make those payments. Send an extra $25 to any debt that you have, so you're not only paying the minimum. That really adds up. So that's something that you can do. And negotiate. Again, as Barbara was mentioning, advocate for yourself. Call and ask for a lower interest rate. People want to work with you. They want to get their money back. So you can do it. Just a lot of people don't, because again, you don't know what you don't know. You don't know that you can do it. Fear might be another component that prevents you from advocating for yourself. But this is another step that you can take. And the good thing is that our coaches can help you come up with a plan and come up with something that you can say to your creditors that will work in your benefit. So there are options to manage your debt. There are always options. So the first one is to do nothing. I don't think about it, out of sight, out of mind, but that's not going to help you. Eventually, it's going to come back. So arrange a payment plan. Again, list everything, start figuring out what you need to start paying off first. The other option is to negotiate a settlement. That's another one. Use a management program. And we have one that is amazing, and I'm going to talk a little bit more about it in a few minutes. Apply the snowball method, apply the avalanche method. So it's always better to do something. The worst option is this one. This is what you can do. Do nothing won't help you. But any other plan that you choose, you'll eventually see the results of doing that. So talking about fear, the thing that we all fear is the collection process. So loans that you ask are usually charged off after 90 days, credit cards after 180 days, and collections can start before those are charged off. But once they are charged off, the borrower may keep that loan, that debt in-house, or they may sell it to someone else. And that's when the collection process becomes really something. So remember that negative marks can stay on your credit report for up to 7 years. So it will affect you for 7 years, but you can advocate for yourself. And you can also If you don't want to do it yourself, we have help. We have our team of financial coaches. We have plenty. They are all bilingual, bicultural, and so well trained, except for Luis. But they are all amazing coaches, very well trained. They are all certified, and they can help you. They will create a plan that works for you. They will look at every situation individually and build a depth of plan strategy that really works for your situation and guide you through those emergencies and help you see things that you are not seeing. And they'll be there for you. And again, the great thing is that it's completely free, it's confidential, and it's tailored to you. So we have Enrique, Yesenia, Laura, Susie, Luis, Vivi, and Karina. Now, talking about our debt management program that I mentioned, this is a 5-step process that it's very, very easy. We'll give you a free consultation. We'll look at everything that you owe, and then we'll help you negotiate. So you are able to lower your interest rates. And sometimes we can lower them up to 6%, 5%, in rare cases, even to 0%. So if you're struggling with that, and it's not dependent on your income. If you're really struggling to purchase your groceries, or money is really tight because you're putting everything just towards that debt, then this program is for you. You make just one payment every month, and it goes not just into the interest rate, but it goes to the principal, and that's how you'll be able to repay that debt in 4 to 5 years tops. Our support is ongoing, and it doesn't need a credit check. It's completely confidential. It does not generate additional debt. It won't affect your credit score. It will actually help you improve your credit score. And we are a nonprofit. So again, the benefit is all to you, no catch. So one thing, again, you don't know what you don't know. So that's why we want to bring this awareness. You have to know you have rights. Even if you're in debt, you have rights. And debt collectors have to follow rules. So they can only call you between 8 a.m. and 9 p.m. on weekdays, and 1 p.m. and 5 p.m. on weekends. They have to stop calling you if you request it in writing. They can't threaten you, harass you. They can be mean to you. And if you request something in writing, they need to get back to you in 30 days. So we'll help you, again, create a plan on how to talk to them, but you can tell them, I'm requesting you to stop calling me, and please communicate only in writing to your address. So there are things that you can say to really uphold your rights. So again, once you know this, it reduces fear, it empowers you, and you know that you have legal protections. And these are all federal rules that they need to adhere to. So I want to see if anyone has questions, because we've covered a lot.
Yeah. Ceci, did you want to say something? Ceci?
No, I have questions if we want to ask a couple while we're waiting on the audience to ask.
Yes.
Okay, there are two.
Yes.
There are two in the chat. Do you want to go first, or should we cover those?
You can cover it, Barbara. Those are my questions.
Oh,
it's you.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
So the first question here is, do you have any tips for someone who wants to try to negotiate their interest rates on their own?
On their own. Yeah, I mean, I will say that you need to find out who the debt, if it was already sold, who it was sold to, and give them a call. You have power because they are usually friendly. They usually want to work with you. Really think about what you're going to say. Really be mindful of considering your options. Write down everything that they are telling you. And I will strongly suggest that you use our coaching services.
Yeah,
To be
can I
completely
add?
honest.
Yeah,
Yes,
can I
please.
add to that?
Yeah.
Just to be more specific on that, and you're right about using services or working with someone. It's really important to be prepared.
Yes.
So when you make that call, it's having some understanding of what your balance is currently, right?
Yes.
What is your interest rate currently, and also what's out there on the market? What are other things? Do you have an absolute reason? Did something happen? You lost your job, or a family member, or something occurred, right? So basically, it's when you're calling, make sure that you know a little bit about what your case is, right?
Yeah.
Also knowing what those options are. So whether you're working with one of our coaches to just make sure your bases are covered, or not, right? The other bit is, you know this from calling any customer service person. You really want to be polite, be not go crazy if they say no the first time. The other bit of it is that you can be persistent. And what's really interesting, a recent study this year, I think it was I think it was by NerdWallet. No, it wasn't. It was by someone else. I'll come to it in a second. 83% of people who asked for a reduction in rates were able to get that. Which also leads to the second question that's up there. Is, I think there was a question about how much can you lower your rate, and I think again the answer is always it depends. But that reduction is on average, I believe, 6 to 7%. So that's the story. And I think please. So those were the two questions. The next one is, do you have a template for asking for a lower interest rate?
I mean, I don't at the moment. I can help you. I can send one over once we send over the presentation. But again, it's better to have it really tailored to you, to be very individualized. Like, these aren't things that you can just go into with a general sense of. It really, the specifics and the context really make a difference when you are reaching out to your creditors. So again, I will suggest you to use our coaching sessions, but I will send you over something simple.
Yeah, exactly. Because there's a list of kind of questions, but that would be the template part. But it's with my consulting background, it depends is a terrible answer, but it does depend so much. It is so contextualized to your situation. So thanks, Ileana, on that. By the way, then there's another question there, which is, what is your advice if we do not make enough to cover all of our debts and our current expenses?
So one of the amazing things of working with our counselors is that we'll go through a health assessment or your budget first, and we can find those leaks. We can definitely help you find those leaks where money might be going out. And we can also help you consider situations where more money might be able to come in. So that's the first step. Budgeting will always be the first step when you're going to tackle anything money-wise, because it will give you the bigger picture of what's going on. And we'll send you a template, a spreadsheet also, where you can start tracking your money. But again, talking with someone who will look at your own situation, like why is this happening? Why don't you have enough money to cover this debt? And how we can help you and support you. I think that will really take a big weight off your shoulders.
Ileana, earlier there was a question that I answered in the chat, but you might want to add something to it. Someone asked, will your credit score be penalized for canceling a credit card? My answer was that it could affect your credit score, but it needs to be considered in light of the different kinds of factors that you talked about in terms of credit utilization and history. And then it
Yeah.
also depends on other more, minor factors like, are there high fees associated with it? Is it forcing you to spend too much? That's my starting point inside the quick answer to the chat while you were talking. Is there
Yeah,
something more that you want to add?
please remember that that only accounts for 15% of your credit score. So it might affect it a little bit, 50% if all, I mean, 15, if everything else is correct, it might not be a huge factor. But if it's already low because of the other things that you need to be paying, the other things that you need to be doing aren't being done, then it will add up. So yeah, yeah, you are great at, like, if you had credit for 1 to 2 years, 3 to 4. So yeah, it's always best to have your oldest credit accounts open.
Thank you. And a next question is, are there any specific programs or tools for help with student loan debt?
So I don't know about specific programs. What I can tell you is that our coaches are always trained, and particularly now that everything is changing, oh my God, do we have to stay on top of things? So yeah, if things are things that we need to stay on top, imagine how hard it is for the rest of the community, the population. So that's why I would recommend talking to a professional who can really help you understand what's going on, what's changing, what you need to be paying, what's going to happen, the deadlines. Things are changing for sure.
Yes, and so we keep getting trained on that. So I
Yes.
would suggest that that for specific, so that we don't say anything incorrectly here,
Yeah.
that you do set up an appointment or write to us so that we can connect you with the right person there.
Yeah, and the other thing is that you don't have to stay with our coaches. They might just refer you to some
point.
other resources that are out there for you. So that's another big piece of this.
Great. I also want to add, by the way, that survey before, it's Lending Tree, right? I just wanted to tell you.
Oh, the one that I'm like,
yeah,
what? Yes.
yeah. I said NerdWallet because NerdWallet has an interesting study on hardship loans, but that's besides the point. But it's Lending Tree.
Yes.
This is all we have in our questions for the minute. Does
So-
anyone have questions back to us? Who put questions in the chat? Do you have any follow-up questions to any of the answers that we provided? Or any thoughts that you'd like to just jump on and share?
So, Peter, can you do a breakdown of why elections are important? And just real quick, we can talk about like.
So, I think Ceci.
No, I don't have any additional questions. You guys
Okay,
answered
thank
my
you,
one.
thank you. I was just gonna please ask everyone to go into Mentimeter again and share your commitment to grow. Let's share one change, small change that we plan to do today, this week, that will help us, that will go into like a gift to our future selves. So one is gonna check their credit report. 2, 3. Someone is going to schedule a free financial coaching session. 2 of them. Thank you so much. Someone is going to save $20 this week. Oh my God, that's amazing too. That's a big one as well. Well, 3 are going to schedule a financial coaching session. Well, thank you so much. This is how you empower yourself. This is how you tackle things little by little. And here is our QR code to schedule your first financial coaching session. I'm going to leave this up. And I really appreciate the opportunity. Thank you so much, Ceci. Thank you to the Steamboat Chamber for putting this workshop together for us, to give us the space to share a little bit of what we know and how we can help your clients, your members.
You, Eliana, and thank you, Barbara. We really appreciate you guys being here and sharing all the valuable information and resources. As the Chamber, we truly believe that this is a great program to help our workforce. So thank you everyone for attending. Before we wrap up, I want to share a few upcoming sessions that we have in our business education series. We have a succession planning for business owners session on October 22nd, preparing for peak, which looks at winter lodging and tourism and the tourism industries and that outlook. That's on October 29th. Small business tax essentials beyond the basics. That's November 5th. And then we have another financial literacy workshop with the Savings Collaborative on savings on November 18th. So I'll send those registration links with the recording and the presentation from today, along with that template, Eliana, that you mentioned you'd share for negotiating a lower interest rate. And yeah, thanks again for being here, everyone. Have a
Thank
wonderful
you
day.
so much. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Yeah.